colleagues and listeners, here we are again. We're still partaking in a wonderful visit to Unilode Aviation Solutions here at Heathrow, and we're talking to some of the team members. The team member I'd like to introduce now is Kiren Chheena, who's the Director of Business Analytics.
Hi Chris.
Lovely to meet you, Kieran.
Lovely to meet you too.
Lovely to meet you, and what a lovely title. Now, what does business analytics mean to the layman?
What does it mean to the layman? So it is about taking the vast amount of data that we are collecting on behalf of our customers. This is across digital, messaging, all of the information we have from our MROs, and just making sense out of it. So turning it into something that actually can be actioned by us and our customers. So we use our customer portal, which I'm sure we will talk about at some point. But it's really about bringing that data to life, and bringing meaning to it.
Wonderful. Now, in some of the information that we've got here, we're talking about data engineering, machine learning, business insights, driving innovation in Unilode's customer portal, enterprise data warehouse, and business intelligence platforms. Awful lot of terminology there. Putting it into simple terms, okay, most people don't really understand the world of the ULD or the pallets anyhow, okay, so it's come an awful long way. What is it that you guys are trying to do with all this technology, data, and all the insights to make it easier for people to understand and greater transparency of what they benefit as a result of partnering with Unilode?
Yeah, so first and foremost, it's for us, it's not about data, it's about the trust in that data. So we use data engineering techniques to basically take all this data, bring it into our enterprise data warehouse, which in layman's terms is it's a collection of tables that we use to basically make sense of the world. How many messages do we have? What's currently in repair? What is the condition of a ULD? Where has it flown to? So we use all of that information to create almost like a digital journey that just tells us and the customer everything that's happened with the ULD during its life. And we present that out in the customer portal, and we do that to empower customers and ourselves to make the right decisions at the right time. How much inventory do I have? How am I comparing against my recharges, which is really key for our customers? How are we driving down cost of non-quality? So all of this comes together in this data product that we have, the customer portal, which helps customers to make better sense of how their operation is going day to day. And that is kind of the be all and end all really, is to try and drive as much action and value from the information that we collect.
Okay, so that end model or the end data, a lot of that does rely, however, on what people put in.
Yes.
So your experience and looking at GHAs and handlers across the globe, you must be disappointed with the way some just cannot do the basics of the business in a almost like a disciplined, regulated manner, so that your data is so vastly improved.
Yeah, I think because there are so many parties that are involved in the data as it makes its way to us, I think there's still a lot of scope for us to just make sure that, anywhere where we have process issues, we work with our CS team, we work with the GHAs through the carriers to just try and explain why it's important to follow these practices. Because to your point, it is a case of garbage in, garbage out. I mean, the portal is only going to reflect reality. We have our own data engineering techniques to try and make sense of this data. So we will remove anomalies and outliers and try and create the best picture we can. But ultimately, we are beholden to what's happening upstream of us. So we work actively to just try and make sure that people are educated. And the work that we're doing with EULD, the digital app, I think is a great example of us trying to solve this pain point. If we can get rid of the SCMs altogether, I think that would be the holy grail. And this is something that we're kind of actively working towards.
Okay, good. Now, with all the data that goes in, and you were talking about trust and credibility and access through the portal and everything, obviously when somebody partners with yourselves, they've got access to the portal. And if the portal gives a set of figures, then they have to trust those figures. Now, is there occasions where when the portal is showing something, it's not what mirrors reality? Does that happen very often?
I'm not sure that happens often, but these things will come up because the portal is basically taking CETA messaging data, it's taking digital data, which we can trust and verify because we're collecting this from tags and readers. And then it's marrying the two together and trying to create that digital journey that I talked about. So yeah, along the way we will have issues because this information is sometimes being touched by human hands.
Yep.
So if the SCM isn't being performed in the way that we need it to be performed, then obviously that is an area of opportunity for us to just go back and talk to the carriers and the GHAs and explain.
Yep.
The portal is great because it now shines a light on the weaknesses. Once you know what's happening, then you can actually take steps to address it. So whilst yes, the trust still continues to be actively built with every release we have, we know that we still have got quite a bit of work to do to get it to kind of where it needs to be. Yeah,
no, exactly. And it's so important to get the right output, because otherwise people's opinions and the way they talk to colleagues, etc., that's the last thing you want, is to be questioning the accuracy of the information that's available.
Yes. Yeah.
What do you find the most rewarding in what you actually do in your area of responsibility? Why is it? Because you're very passionate. I was talking to you earlier, right? So,
yes. Yeah.
What keeps that passion burning? What is it that you really enjoy about the job?
I think working in analytics is a great industry to be in, because you get to be at the heart of the organisation. So I love working with people. We have really good relationships with our customer success team.
Yep.
We work extensively with finance, the ELT, and all other functions across the business. They rely on information to get the job done. So we have got a lot of power and impact where we can help shape some of the decision making that is being done in our business and also with our customers. So I think for me that is like the biggest motivation for being in this industry, and working with my team of now like 15 strong analytics and engineers and data engineers, that we try and just seek out all the opportunities we can across the company.
But it's a great opportunity, because, and I've been privileged to see so much data across so many different sectors, and then sometimes you look at people and they're looking at it, but they're not seeing the detail, or they're not seeing what they should be extracting from it. And there's almost like a hesitancy or a wait. Well, and what does that mean? Or can you tell us what we should be? People aren't able to read it well enough, are they? And I'm not talking now about whether they use BI or any other means to extract what they think is important, but it's understanding what data is there in the first place, and what do you actually want to extract from it? Not what's easy to take, but what do you want to extract, and then understanding the reason why that extraction will make a difference to your business.
Yeah. We talk a lot as a team about the art of data storytelling.
Yeah.
So the information on its own has no life or meaning.
Yeah.
You have to be able to tie it to a business problem, and you need to be able to weave a narrative that people can get behind and understand. So we talk a lot about KPIs and metrics and metric trees, and how does this number relate to this other number, and what do I need to drive in order to get the right outcome. So we spend a lot of time not just on cleaning and making sense of the data, but just also thinking about the so what. This is the next chapter that we're trying to get into now. Now that we have the portal up and running, for us now it's okay, we have the data. Yes, it may not be perfect. How do we then take it to the next level, which is how do we drive action and better outcomes for us?
And for me, all the parties that have access to ULDs, pallets, etc., I genuinely think if they had greater awareness and there was something that was put in easy terminology, maybe with a bit of visual impact, so they could see why things are necessary to be done, why if you do it in the right order it makes more sense, why if you do it according to the requirements of the industry, why you will then get better overview of what your business is, and why that will make a difference to your business, even in their positions, whether they're in ULD management, supervisory, on the ramp, whatever. Anything that gives them better insights into how their job can be better, more efficient, cost effective, etc. But I don't think people focus on that enough.
No, they don't. I think you need to be able to sell in the benefits to that individual and what does it mean for them. So yes, they are part of a bigger process, but there is going to be, direct impact and benefit to them actually adhering to whatever process needs to be adhered to. So I think just getting into that selling mindset and just being really clear with people about, look, if you follow these practices, then there is this broader outcome and this broader goal that we're all collectively trying to go for. And you play a huge part in this, because I think people sometimes underappreciate the part that they do play.
Exactly.
In that chain I'm just a, when actually you're
are
the person
the.
that's providing the information that we make big decisions on. So you probably have more critical part to play in this than any of our systems, our lake houses, or whatever you might want to.
I was involved with ULD Care, and Bob Rogers, he puts a huge amount of effort into everything that he does there. But one of the things that I thought was so valuable is the ULD Care little manual. And then after that was brought out, then there was a section that was brought out in the next edition, which was at the end, which was almost like a little checklist. Do you understand? Are you doing it right? I thought that was hugely valuable. But that, along with the ICHM, I don't see many people using that when they come into the business. But I think if they did, that storyline, the narrative you're talking about, I think that would be so much more obvious, and it would make a lot more sense to people, because you just start seeing people go, that's why. But it's not because somebody wants to, be a pain in the butt or restrict you from doing something. You must do it in this way because.
Yes. I think checklists are really, really powerful. I read the book, The Checklist Manifesto, which massively resonated with me. And I think the more that we can kind of bake these mechanics into our digital offerings, into our EULD app, onto the portal, I think this is how it starts to embed and slowly change culture. It will take time, because culture takes time to actually change, doesn't it?
Oh, indeed.
You can release the technology, and that's fine. And we're really great at kind of disrupting the industry. But then the culture obviously lags a little bit behind that. But I think just trying to make these things sticky, trying to just make it memorable and explain to people why they are so valuable in this journey that we're on, I think that's the key.
I agree 100%. And I think whether you call it checklist or self-assessment, the fact that you actually do that, it shows then a degree of understanding and awareness of both verifying that something has been done that was intended to be done, but validating that it was done in the manner in which it should be, and that people appreciate it, and that it's making an impact and a difference to the business. I think that's the beauty of it.
Yes.
And if that loop is complete.
Exactly. And being able to articulate that in that loop, being able to say, look, okay, these changes in behaviours or in the process actually drove these positive outcomes that we can see in the data. This is the intervention that we took. This is the outcome that we achieved. And, we can all kind of just be very proud of the collective effort that we've made in order to drive those outcomes. So it definitely is about the feedback loop and bringing that story to a close.
I agree. Well put. Now, just bringing things to a close, if I was to ask you, is there any one thing that if you could wave a magic wand, and even though you're probably working on elements of those, but if you could wave a magic wand tonight and it would be fixed tomorrow, is there any one thing that comes to mind really quickly?
There's probably a few, but I think touching on what we've just spoken about, I think data quality is still a big issue in the industry. Because it's touched by human hands. And that, for me and my team, can sometimes hold us back, because we spend quite a lot of time on trying to clean the data and make sense of it. Well, we know the value is actually in mining that data and turning it into actionable insights. So if I could tick that box off, I would. That would then allow us to just unlock all kinds of potential.
So in preparation for ticking it off, you guys have obviously got the list of all those irregularities or anomalies or whatever, and you know which ones are the worst ones. So it might not necessarily be the biggest important issue, but if it's the trivial many, it becomes the critical few. So you know what that trivial many list looks like.
Yes, it is kind of the 80-20, isn't it? We hope we have somewhat of a long tail, but we are kind of working through that. And I think with the expansion of digital is going to help massively. Because it's just going to give us more and more ground truth that is something that we can all rely on. So I think I'm really excited about how we will get from 73% tagged up to 90% by the end of the year. We have a reader network of 1,000 plus. We have 300 now flying around in aircraft in the skies as well. So we're rapidly expanding the digital infrastructure.
But that's brilliant. I mean, so when the doors open, you've got a distance and a span of what you can read, and it's instantaneous.
Exactly.
So when people are missing or losing assets and then they pop up like that, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's a win-win if we can drive down unreported and lost and other cost of non-quality metrics. It's a win-win. It's an absolute no-brainer. So we've seen that play out with the rollout of the mobile app and the reader network as well. We're really driving down unreported.
Yep.
which is just a huge selling point and one of many.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah.
What's the point of
So-
having things sitting around doing nothing? What's
Exactly.
even worse if you don't even know where they are?
Yeah.
That's
And
a
backing it
terrible
up
thing.
with hard numbers as well. I mean,
Yeah.
it's irrefutable then, isn't
Yeah.
it? If we can just clearly show.
It is
the value.
indeed. Kieran, it's lovely to see somebody who enjoys what they're doing. And it's nice to see. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. It's been a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.